You have clicked it. Good afternoon, everyone. Just trying to check my mic. Hello? Okay, so you can hear me. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in. I'm just trying to wait for a few more people to join the session. So we'll start at 12 noon. See about 15 people on already. We're just trying to wait for more people to join the session. So starting about 5 minutes. Thank you for joining. I really did that. Okay. Well, this is checked is fine. Well, thank you for joining in. We're just waiting for more people. We'll start at 12. Well, I hope everyone on can hear me. We'll start at 12. Thank you for joining. Okay, so it's 11:56. We have about 4 minutes. Just trying to wait for more people to join the session. Okay, thank you, Abigail. Okay, so we're just waiting for more people. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. So it's 11:57. We have about 3 minutes to start. I see more people coming on. Thank you for joining in. We'll start at 12. And we'll start in 2 minutes. Thank you for joining the session. You're welcome. Thank you for joining the session. So we're just giving people about a minute more before we start. Oh, turn my phone on silent. Thank you. So we'll start at 12 noon. Hopefully the session should not be on for more than 30 minutes. We're about to start session. Okay, so it's 12 noon by my time. So I guess we can start the session. Good afternoon again. Welcome everyone. My name is Bisi. I oversee one of the SME divisions here at GT Bank. Today, I'll be your host to take you through what our 90-day grace period on SME loan repayment means for you. My colleague is online as well, Babatunde, head of our product and promotions team. He'll be responding to questions outside all the ones I'll respond to through the chat box. So if you have any questions outside all the ones I'll take during this session, you can just send your messages through the chat box and Babatunde will respond promptly. So like I said, I'll be taking questions around SME grace on loan repayment, the grace period on the loan repayment for SME loans. So first, I'm saying thank you for joining the session. Thank you for taking time to join the session. And I trust you've been keeping safe. Well, we're trying to do the same from my end. We're holding this session from home. My colleague is in his own apartment as well. As your bank, we're aware of the impact the global pandemic is having on your business, especially SMEs. And we're committed to be with you through these difficult times. Earlier in the month, we sent out a communication to grant a grace period of 90 days on loan repayment on all our SME loans. Following that communication, a lot of customers have been sending in questions to understand how this grace period will work, what it means for them, and how it affects their repayments. So we thought to hold this webinar to be able to answer those questions. So we'll put those questions together and I'll be responding to them as we go along. But just in case you have any other questions or you require any details outside what I'm discussing, please send them through the chat box and my colleague Babatunde online will respond through the chat box. So I'll just start by describing what the grace period really means. So it's a 90-day period where principal and interest repayments on your SME loan will be on hold. That's for a 90-day period. So repayment will resume after 90 days. Your repayment schedule remains the same. You just get a 3-month break. 3 months from your last repayment date. So this grace period is effective from April 10th. So all loan repayments that are falling due from April 10th will be on hold for 3 months. So if your loan repayment should have fallen due on April 10th, it won't come through until July 10th. So you don't make repayments for 3 months. So are you expected, someone asked, are you expected to pay any other charges during this period? You're not expected to pay any other charge. The only thing is your loan repayment will not come through until after 3 months from your last repayment date. So the dates will vary for each person. For some people that had to make repayment between 1st of April till 9th of April, then your grace period will extend up till August. So it's 3 months from your last repayment date. Okay, so someone else asked, what does this cover? What loans? So the food industry credit, the fashion industry credit, and the quick credit for business. We used to call that cash flow credit. So any of these SME loans fall under the grace period. So someone else asked, do I pay an accumulative of interest at the end of the period? No, your repayment schedule stays the same. You just get a break, a moratorium between an existing loan period. So your repayment resumes exactly the same amount after 3 months. So your loan repayment period is still 6 months. However, the loan tenure becomes 9 months because you get a 3 month moratorium period. So I have another question. It says, when is the 90-day period starting to cover from? Like I mentioned, April 10th. April 10th. So all loan repayments before that date should be repaid as I went due. But from April 10, there's a grace period of 90 days. Your repayments will not fall due until after 3 months. Okay, someone else asked, what do we have to do, or is it automatic? Yes, it's been automated, so you don't really have to do anything, except you don't want to be part of the grace period. So if you want to opt out, you can send an email to your account officer. And just in case you don't know who your account officer is, you can send a mail to productmanagement@gtbank.com. If you want to opt out, you have an option to opt out. So some people are saying the pandemic is not affecting their business. They're able to carry on their business from home, and then they want to continue with their loan repayment. You can please send an email to your account officer or to productmanagement@gtbank.com to opt out of this grace period. And then your loan repayment will fall coming monthly as it should be. Someone else asked, if I liquidate within the 90 days period, can I get access to a new loan? So I will just recommend you send an email to your account officer. They review your business, your account performance, and then they can advise what's best for you during this period. I have another question. Is there any hidden service charge for keeping our money for 3 months? There's no hidden service charge. Your account, you can run your account exactly the same way you used to do. The only difference is your loan repayments will not come through until after 3 months. You can run your account exactly the same way you've been doing it before the grace period. Okay. Okay, so someone asked, what if businesses don't pick up after 90 days? What are your plans? Okay, after 90 days, we'll review what the economic situation is, and then we'll take a decision. Like I said earlier, we're here to support you through these difficult times. So whatever it is that we can do to support your businesses to ensure that you stay afloat during this period and also be able to continue after this period, we will try to do as much as possible as your bank. Okay, let me see. Would I be able to pay money into my account for the running of my business without any debit? Yes, you can continue to operate your account as usual. Someone asked, does it mean my account will be debited during the grace period? Your account will not be debited for loan repayments. There might be other charges that will come through, but your account will not be debited for loan repayment during the grace period. Okay, does this mean my account? So I'm just trying to get to the next question. I hope I'm attending to your questions. If I'm not attending to your questions yet, you can just give me a few minutes, I'll get to it, or you can send it through the chat box. Like I said, my colleague Babatunde is online and you'll be able to respond promptly. So I'm just trying to look through. Someone asked, what if my business got the loan in the middle of March? Yeah, so your first repayment will be in April. So there'll be no repayment coming through from the middle of April. There'll be no repayment coming through until after 3 months. Is there any possibility of a further extension depending on the state of the economy? I think I answered that earlier. Yes, we will review. We're just taking it one day at a time. We'll review and then we'll communicate. Like I said, we're more than happy to support you as your bank at this time. Okay. Wait a second, I'm just trying to get to the next question. So, yes, I think I've answered some of the questions I'm going through now. So someone else asked, will this grace period increase the interest rate on my loan? No, the interest rate on your loan will not be increased. Your loan repayment schedule would stay the same, but would only resume after 3 months from your last repayment. But if you still have any concerns around calculating the date, please send an email to your account officer or to product@gtbank.com. We would also send you the repayment schedule after this session. We'll communicate the repayment schedule for everyone after this session, but the loan amount, the repayment amount will still stay the same. You would only resume repayment after 3 months. Okay, so I'm just trying to read more questions. What happens? Okay, someone else asked, what happens if the lockdown exceeds 3 months? Like I said, we'll just review at the end of the period and then take a decision that will support your business as much as possible. So someone asked, can I offset in small percentages? Okay, like I mentioned earlier, you have an option to opt out of the grace period. So you can send an email to your account officer or to product@gtbank.com to opt out of the grace period. And then that way your loan repayment will fall due at the right time. And then you can make payments on your loan. So someone asked, when does the 90-day grace period elapse? So it's 3 months from your last repayment date. If your last repayment was end of March, so it'll be 3 months after that. So April, May, June, and then your next repayment will be in July. It's 3 months from your last repayment date. Someone else is asking if they can go ahead to make payment if they want to. You can opt out of the grace period. Can my account still be operated? Yes, your account can still be operated during the period. Okay. Someone is asking about a loan restructure. I would suggest you send an email to your account officer or to product management, and then they can confirm what options are available during this period and what you're eligible for. Okay, I'm just trying to get to as many questions as possible. Someone's asking, can I request for a loan during this period? Please send an email to your account officer, and then they can confirm what you're eligible for, or to productmanagement@gtbank.com. Okay, when does this grace period come into effect? I think I answered that earlier, April 10. I think I've answered a lot of the questions coming through. Will the SME loan deduction commence in July? Okay, so it could be July for some. Like I said, it's 3 months after your last repayment date. So for those that would have made repayments between 1st and 9th of April, their repayments won't come through till August. But for those that didn't make any repayments in April, your repayments start to fall due from July. Like I said, your repayment amount is still the same. Your loan repayment period is still 6 months from the first repayment. The loan tenure might just seem like it's been extended by 3 months because of the 3 months moratorium. Okay. So a lot of questions are around. Okay, so someone's asking, will the moratorium cover both principal and interest? Yes, the moratorium, the grace period will cover both principal and interest repayment. So both principal and interest repayment will be on hold for the grace period and will resume right after the grace period, right after 3 months from your last repayment. Okay, I have a question. I want to ask if there'll be more grace period for a company like mine. I'm a travel agency and we've been hit very badly. Like I said, we'll continue to review the situation and support our SMEs as much as possible because we know they've been hit a lot during this period. So we'll continue to review and we'll just attend to some of our customers on different occasions. Based on your sector, you can send an email to your account officer and then we'll be able to confirm what options are available to you at this time. But for now, it's just a grace period of 3 months on all our SME loans. Okay, so someone is asking if we would extend the grace period. Like I said, we'll review at the end of the period and we can take a decision so as to continue to support your business to ensure you stay afloat during this current pandemic. When will the grace period begin? I think I answered that April 10. Okay, that's the last question I have on my list. I'm just trying to look through the chat box to see if there's any question outside what I've answered. So the grace period is for our SME loans. As we go along, we might be able to come up with other solutions for quick credits for individuals, but it's really for our SME loans. So I'm just trying to see if there's any question that's different from all those that I've answered. So I'm just trying to answer questions about the grace period strictly. And like I mentioned, my colleague Babatunde is online. If there's any question I haven't attended to, be responding to you as we go along. So it's a 3-month grace period for all performing SME loans, like the food industry credit, the fashion industry credit, and a quick credit for business. That used to be called cash flow credit. Okay, I think I've answered a lot of the question, and I see my colleague is responding to some of the other questions. So we've been on about 22 minutes. Like I said earlier, I'm hoping the session won't exceed 30 minutes. At about 25 minutes into the session, I will start to round up. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your time. If there's any question I haven't taken care of, please send through the chat box and my colleague Babatunde would respond. So I'll just take it again, like a recap of what I've been saying. So the grace period is for 90 days on SME loans, food industry credit, fashion industry credit, and quick credit for business. It was effective April 10th. And for each person, it's 3 months from your last repayment date. Okay. So if the lockdown extends beyond this period, we will review and communicate accordingly. But we know a lot of our SME customers have had to stay home to stay safe. The businesses have had to stay closed. We understand, and that's why we're putting this in place as a response to support you at this time. We'll continue to review and see what other options we can make available to ensure that your business stays afloat during this period. Thank you for your time. Should you have any other questions, please send an email to your account officer or to productmanagement@gtbank.com. Thank you for joining in. It's my pleasure being your host during this session. Thank you. So I'll be ending the session now. Like I said, if you have any other questions, please send an email to productmanagement@gtbank.com. Thank you for your time. Thank you.